She's so rotten, she wants migrants picking cotton. We present to you Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who made this shocking argument why America needs immigrants. Roll it, Alfred.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands.
This is when the wheels fall off.
You're not.
Greg Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly struck like a wrecking crew when Jasmine Crockett took the spotlight, confident that her anger and dramatic flair would sway the audience. They brought relentless realism, biting humor, and zero tolerance to the table. Megyn tore apart Crockett's reasoning like a flawed courtroom performance, while Gutfeld's relentless questioning felt like a blaring alarm. In the end, Crockett was checkmated on live television, her sass no match for their combined precision and force.
That's what she does. She puts out this video of her acting in a certain way, and that's how she fundraises.
We actually did a bit of a deep dive on her after my old colleague from Fox News, Todd Starnes, posted something on X not long ago, Walter. He posted the following. Jasmine Crockett wants you to think she's from the hood, that she grew up on the streets. The exact opposite is true. She attended an exclusive day school where tuition is nearly $35,000 a year. She also attended Rhodes College, a private school where tuition is nearly $55,000 a year. She's cosplaying a gangsta. So we looked up her background. She was born in St. Louis. She's 43. Her dad was a Baptist pastor and a teacher. Her mother worked in a post office. She graduated from Mary Institute and St. Louis Country Day School, one of the most expensive private schools in the city. Indeed, the current tuition, $35,000.
Jasmine Crockett attended Rhodes College, a private school with an annual tuition around $55,000, yet she projects more of a theatrical persona than a political one. Born in St. Louis and now 43, her mother worked at the post office, and her father was a Baptist pastor and educator. She later graduated from Mary Institute and St. Louis Country Day School, another elite private institution with tuition near $35,000. Treating politics like a Bravo reality show, Crockett seems to believe that C-SPAN is about entertainment over substance. By her logic, her Twitter clapbacks and TikTok rants would qualify her for leadership roles like Speaker of the House or Majority Leader. In reality, politics demands far more than a sharp side eye or dramatic gesture.
Jasmine Crockett's got another hot take. No blacks and whites on a wedding cake. The Democrats' new chosen one, Jasmine Crockett, is in the news again for an old clip where she attacked Florida Rep. Byron Donalds for marrying a white woman. Roll it, Bertha.
The fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow? Is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you?
That's not very woke.
Megyn Kelly and Greg Gutfeld entered, two media powerhouses who don't need filters, soft lighting, or flashy emojis to make an impact. They weren't there to chat. They came to roast with the force of a broadcast demolition, not a casual campfire joke. Jasmine Crockett looked like she'd stepped into a high-stakes Shark Tank pitch dressed for RuPaul's Drag Race, completely unprepared for the battle ahead. There were no polite introductions or podium pleasantries, only a full-scale verbal demolition derby. Meanwhile, Crockett seemed as out of place as someone attempting a roaring monster truck rally while riding a tricycle.
Leftist hypocrisy and cluelessness. Jasmine Crockett is a rising star amongst the far-left progressives in this country. She's a representative from Houston, Texas, of all places, which makes no sense because she seems to be far too left for Houston, but apparently not because they elected her. It must be like, Orange County in California being like the one outlier in an otherwise uniformly state, like all red with the one blue, all blue with the one red. Okay, so Jasmine Crockett got up at a Los Angeles dinner this past Saturday, and it was hosted by, this is perfect, the human...
Greg Gutfeld entered with the ferocity of a raccoon wielding sharp tongs, armed with a perfect recall of the Constitution and sarcasm as his weapon. Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly acted like a principal breaking up a cafeteria food fight, firm, authoritative, and unyielding. Jasmine, on the other hand, was verbally lashing out, unaware that the entire chaos had been captured in pristine 4K, ready for endless replay.
That was 3 years ago. The ones of her just sounding like a normal person talking. 3 years, not like that was 20 years, but then she moved to Mississippi for all that time. That was 3 years ago. She sounded like a totally normal person. It's only now she's got her accent and she's going to kick everybody's ass. It's such an
Aesthetic anger defines Crockett's entire political persona, like sprinkling glitter on an empty briefcase in Congress. It's loud, flashy, and attention-grabbing, but once the glitter fades, it's hollow and insubstantial. She struggled to make a compelling case for legislation. It was all cosplay, teetering between, can I finish my sentence and I'm reclaiming my time. She seemed to forget that effective leadership requires more than a perfect walk and dramatic pauses designed for viral videos.
Is she making any point there?
Like this makes me wish my mom made different father choices.
Greg never had to raise his voice. With a few cutting words, Crockett's entire argument collapsed like a cheap suit from a desperate donor. Her points were discarded like expired coupons, ineffective, irrelevant, and unworthy of serious consideration. Greg remained so unimpressed that he could have completed a crossword mid-outburst and still mocked her before she finished. Then Megyn Kelly stepped in, effortlessly commanding attention with dates, facts, and razor-sharp analysis, all without raising her voice, while Crockett acted like she was auditioning for a congressional version of Mean Girls. It was like watching a furious IRS auditor dismantle her performance. Harsh, precise, and almost satisfying. Her supposed influence on governance looked more like a disastrous group project where her only role was decorating the PowerPoint with emojis and claiming she led the team.
So this is funny. Jasmine Crockett sits on the Judiciary Committee, and about a month ago, Walter, I testified.
Yes,
before the
we saw
Judiciary
this.
Committee. Yeah, and the hearings, the full committee hearings, are quite long. You can be there for over 4 hours. So, and they let the most junior members ask questions last. So I had to sit for quite a long time. And then at the very end, Jasmine Crockett, who I had never heard before, suddenly started screaming at me and Michael Schellenberger. And when you're a witness in Congress, you have to pay attention to what everybody says, because you never know when you're going to be asked an actual question and allowed to, maybe even allowed to speak. But I could not understand what she was saying. She was moving from one thing to another, and she was doing all that code switching stuff with the y'alls and y'all eyeing on this.
Gutfeld confronted a hard truth. Crockett has little interest in policy, focusing instead on performance. Her persona thrives on finger snaps, dramatic eye rolls, and Instagram-ready theatrics that work online far better than in Congress. She isn't unintelligent. She revels in intellectual dishonesty, especially when hashtags are queued and cameras are rolling. What she needs is a PR handler or a mentor to remind her that Capitol Hill isn't a stage or an improv club. Her attempt to craft a soundbite about defending the people backfired completely. Gutfeld paused and smiled, letting the silence spotlight her emptiness. Megyn, equally composed, brought the poise of someone seasoned by presidential campaigns and relentless media scrutiny. Crockett's audacity might thrill her supporters, but yelling doesn't equal virtue, and volume isn't kindness. Together, Greg and Megyn executed a masterclass in dismantling pretense, while Crockett turned every misstep into meme-worthy rage.
I've had about enough of her. She wants to be like a member of the squad. She thinks of herself like an AOC. She talks like, she's from the hood. Meanwhile, she grew up in a nice family. She didn't talk like this 3 years ago. 3 years ago, she sounded like you and I sound in this conversation. Like, I'm really excited to be going to Congress. I can't wait to get started on my new job. And now she's like, we need to smack him in the head.
We know that we work for the American people, and what we not gonna do is stand around while they pull this that they trying to pull right now.
Like, what? What do you? We have videotape. Why are you talking like that? No one believes this bullshit. And now she's graduated to acting like a thug. So congratulations, your term in the U.S. Congress is going really well.
That was a great.
Hoping something would stick, Crockett flung meaningless buzzwords like confetti at a New Year's Eve party. But this wasn't Times Square. It was a political roast, and she was the main course. Megyn calmly countered with bills, voting records, and doses of reality she clearly hadn't encountered since her last trending tweet, while Crockett's strategy consisted of eye rolls so extreme they seemed capable of straining an optic nerve. Gutfeld and Kelly came armed with facts. Crockett arrived with vibes. The contrast was almost poetic. She imagined herself preaching from Mount Olympus with the zeal of a viral Twitter thread. One might expect such a takedown to prompt reflection, maybe even a civics textbook or a real bill, but she doubled down like someone playing Uno in court. Draw 4, skip, reverse. Greg and Megyn weren't playing games, and the spectacle exploded. They acted as the hard tether of reality, while Crockett went beyond her campaign promises in sheer performative theatrics.
Do you share your boxcar with people of color?
I do.
Yeah.
My boxcar does not know race, does not know gender. It is a welcome space
That is so
where only
beautiful.
deodorant is not welcome. I like this Jasmine Crockett lady, right?
It's a great name, isn't it, for a villain?
Yeah.
And Crockett is the whitest last name you could ever have.
Yeah.
I want to throw that out there.
Sonny Crockett, Miami Vice.
Yes?
It's like the whole thing is like, because I've seen her, she's very well spoken, and then she gets on certain programs and lets it. So maybe this whole thing is like a Netflix documentary, like a new spin on Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde.
None of this was personal. Gutfeld and Kelly weren't mocking Crockett's appearance. They were dismantling the influencer-style theatrics that turn hearings into spectacles. Crockett may have eyeballed her way to justice 29 times, but if she devoted half as much effort to legislation as she does to camera angles, she might actually pass something meaningful. Politics is about results, and Gutfeld's trademark dry wit made that clear. According to her resume, she looked up 3 ways to sound woke on Google and quit after the first. Instead of advancing laws or ideas, her career is filled with hubris-muffled noise. Megyn Kelly tore through the facade like a chainsaw through butter, while Crockett treats change like a retweet from a blue-check influencer under a ring light. Public service is clearly not her focus. Her goal is to enhance her brand. Leadership doesn't operate that way. It requires substance, not grandiose illusions masquerading as politics.
She is going to be the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
You are going to be so glad she
Keep
popped
her
up
around.
on the scene.
That's going to make up for the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We're going to get a segment a day from.
Have you ever seen someone dodge accountability by turning it into a heartfelt TED Talk? That's Jasmine in a nutshell. Being mocked doesn't build infrastructure, but it does generate likes, shares, and endless outrage to keep cameras rolling, which seems to be her goal. Greg Gutfeld nailed it when he called her views handcrafted, like microwaving a pre-cooked meal, dull, noisy, and unsatisfying. She assembles cliches like brittle IKEA furniture, prone to collapse at the first sign of stress. Her strategy relies on volume over substance. She screams when stuck, flails when confronted, and blames conspiracies when proven wrong. She imagines herself as Rosa Parks with a ring light. Though Parks never needed portrait mode to advocate for causes, Megyn Kelly didn't even have to strike hard to expose the emptiness. A simple gesture sufficed. By the morning after an election, Jasmine's talking points vanished faster than her campaign pledges, demanding justice without research, performing persecution like a press pass worn as a costly accessory.
If you're going to talk about black history, at least know it. This is, at least know it, okay? But it goes back to, that was 45 seconds of some of the, like Kamala, you good right now. That was some of the dumbest I ever heard in my life. Here's the thing. This goes back to what we talked about earlier. They never have a solution. Just listen to your dumbass talk. You want to talk about agriculture? Why don't you fix the lottery? Why don't you make it easier for people who want to come into this country to work in agriculture and equitation?
Crockett doesn't rely on policy or persuasion, only appearance. She sneers when she runs out of arguments, hoping to seem like a magic 8-ball full of attitude and insider knowledge. Greg Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly weren't fooled. They've seen this act too often. Her resistance is a delaying tactic, not power, and rebuttals were unnecessary. The roasting was that thorough. Crockett's silence wasn't golden, it was coerced. That day, her entire parliamentary career, a masterclass in loud, incorrect theatrics, was on display. She treats Congress like amateur night at a slam poetry club, yet Gutfeld and Kelly's intervention reset reality, proving outcomes matter more than TikTok vibes. Her following might grow, but the wreckage was undeniable. Gutfeld showed that indignation as a tactic only leaves you peeled like a banana. Megyn dismantled her beliefs with surgical precision. Crockett arrived ready for a slap fight, but faced a mental chess master unprepared for the ruthless, calculated takedown. She still believes she won the last joke, but she didn't play. She exposed.